Is everyone blind, or is Trackhouse Racing slowly, quietly, systematically sabotaging Shane van Gisbergen right in front of our faces? Yesterday, the Kiwi King erased a 29-second deficit at Watkins Glen. 29 seconds, carved through the entire field like it was a Wednesday sim session, took the lead with 8 laps to go, won by 7 seconds, his 7th Cup Series road course win. Out of 14 starts, a 50% win rate on road courses. 50. Jeff Gordon needed 47 starts to get 9. SVG needed 14 to get 7. And yet, this man sits 16th in the Cup standings. Now, if you're part of the 3 a.m. crew, and I know you are because your alarm went off in Sydney or Auckland or Christchurch at some ungodly hour so you could watch this bloke race, you already feel it in your gut. Something doesn't add up. The fastest road racer this sport has ever produced is barely clinging to a playoff spot. And the question nobody in the American broadcast booth wants to ask is, why? Because the answer might embarrass the people writing the checks. Let's run the numbers, and I mean actually run them, because this is where the story gets uncomfortable. SVG's 2026 oval results read like a horror novel. Las Vegas, 36th. Bristol, 34th. Kansas, 36th again, that one after a penalty for unapproved adjustments where his crew chief, Stephen Doran, got ejected from the track. He lost pit stall selection, got sent to the rear, and had to serve a stop and go. His average finish across 12 races this season is 18.2. Strip out Watkins Glen and COTA, where he ran second, and his average on ovals alone balloons into the mid-20s. Now here's the part that should make you furious. The 97 car has started from the back half of the field on ovals repeatedly. 18th at Phoenix, 16th at Las Vegas, 33rd at Darlington, 33rd at Bristol, 33rd at Talladega, 30th at Texas. You can't win races from 33rd. You can barely survive them. His qualifying positions on ovals are consistently worse than his road course speed suggests his raw talent should produce. That tells you something about what the car is giving him on Sundays. Justin Marks himself admitted after Watkins Glen, and I'm quoting directly, "The way we started this season, it's unacceptable to us. It's not up to the standards we set for ourselves." He called the win putting a little air in the room while they engineer the resurgence of the team. Engineer the resurgence. Brother, you have a 3-time Supercars champion in the seat. The driver isn't the problem. So where are the engineering resources actually going? Here's where the narrative splits. Connor Zilisch, 19 years old, the number 88 Cup Series rookie, arrived at Trackhouse like a corporate product launch. Red Bull branding, WeatherTech money, replaced Daniel Suarez, a veteran, without blinking. His Xfinity resume is absurd. 10 wins, 18 consecutive top 5 finishes. Xfinity regular season champion, rookie of the year. The kid is real. Nobody is denying that. But look at his 2026 Cup numbers. Average finish 25.5, 32nd in the standings, finished 33rd at Daytona, 30th at Atlanta, 29th at Phoenix with a suspension issue, 32nd at Las Vegas, at 33rd at Bristol. He's getting the full rookie baptism, and yet this is the driver Trackhouse chose veteran crew chief Randall Burnett for. 6 Cup wins, 253 Cup races called, an Xfinity championship with Tyler Reddick. Burnett didn't go to SVG's team. He went to Zilisch. The teenager got the championship-winning crew chief. The 3-time Supercars legend kept Stephen Doran, the same crew chief who just got ejected at Kansas for a technical violation. Fair dinkum. Think about that allocation of resources for a second. Well, when Trackhouse restructured for 2026, they poached Brandon McSwain from Hendrick Motorsports, William Byron's lead race engineer, and gave him to Ross Chastain. They paired Zilisch with Burnett and SVG. SVG got continuity which sounds nice until you realize continuity might just be corporate language for we already invested the upgrades elsewhere. This isn't about Zilisch being bad, it's about who Trackhouse is building toward, and it doesn't look like the Kiwi King. Now let's talk about what you can't put on a spreadsheet. Body language and power dynamics, and watch Justin Marks in his post-race presser after Watkins Glen. He calls SVG a race car driver at a level this sport has never seen on road courses. That sounds like praise, but reread it. On road courses, that qualifier is doing heavy lifting. Marks isn't calling him the future of the team. He isn't saying, this is the guy we build the franchise around. He's calling him a specialist, a road course weapon, a tool you deploy 6 times a year and manage the other 30. Now contrast that with how Trackhouse introduced Zilisch, the next iteration of Trackhouse, creating the Trackhouse legacy. That's franchise language. That's the way you talk about the guy you see in the seat. For the next 15 years, nobody is using the word legacy about a 36-year-old New Zealander, no matter how many road courses he dominates. SVG signed a multi-year extension in August 2025 after his 5-win rookie season. Multiple years, Bob Pockris reported it, but no one confirmed the exact end date. Most insiders suggest the deal runs through 2027, possibly 2028. But here's the what if that should keep you awake, even at 3 a.m. when you're already up. What if SVG's contract isn't a commitment? What if it's a holding pattern? What if Trackhouse locked him in just long enough to ensure they didn't lose him to a rival before Zilisch was ready to become the undisputed #1, and a seat-warmer deal disguised as loyalty? Because there's a pattern in NASCAR that repeats like clockwork. The veteran keeps the seat warm, the young prodigy gets groomed in the background, and when the prodigy is ready, the veteran discovers that multi-year doesn't mean priority. Ask Martin Truex. Ask Kevin Harvick in his final seasons. Ask Daniel Suarez. The man Zilisch literally replaced. The question isn't whether SVG is elite. Everyone knows the answer. The question is whether Trackhouse sees him as their future or their bridge. All right. This section is for the loyal ones, the ones who set their alarms, who bought the merch, who can spell Van Gisbergen without autocorrect. If the Kiwi King is getting a raw deal at Trackhouse, where does he go? Hendrick Motorsports, the number 48 car. Alex Bowman is in a contract year in 2026. Multiple outlets have already started naming potential replacements for 2027. The speculation is real. Raja Caruth, Corey Day, Daniel Dye, Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney. Names are flying. But nobody in the American media has seriously floated SVG's name, and that is criminal. Think about it. Hendrick has Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, William Byron. Those are 3 drivers who compete on ovals at the highest level. What Hendrick doesn't have is a guaranteed road course assassin. SVG in a Hendrick car? With Hendrick resources, Hendrick engineering, Hendrick oval setups, could genuinely become a championship contender, not just a 6-race specialist, a full-season threat, because his oval results aren't bad because he can't drive. They're bad because the 97 team isn't giving him enough to work with on those weekends. And there's something else. SVG came to Trackhouse because of Project 91. He saw Kimi Räikkönen drive for Marks in 2022, got curious, got a shot at the Chicago street race, and the rest is history. Loyalty matters to Shane. His supercars career proved that. He stayed at AAA through thick and thin. But even the most loyal driver has a breaking point, and watching a teenager get the veteran crew chief, the legacy branding, and the long-term investment while you're starting 33rd at Bristol on old setups, that might be the breaking point. If Rick Hendrick picks up the phone, and he should, the conversation would be very short. So here's where we are. Shane van Gisbergen just won at Watkins Glen for the second straight year. He's the most dominant road course driver in NASCAR history by any statistical measure. He's a 50% winner on those circuits, and he's sitting 16th in the standings on a team that just publicly admitted its own performance is unacceptable. Meanwhile, a 19-year-old rookie is being positioned as the centerpiece of the Trackhouse legacy. The engineering hires, the crew chief assignments, the marketing language. Every signal points in one direction, and it isn't toward car number 97. Is Trackhouse on the verge of losing the biggest international superstar this sport has ever had? Should the Kiwi King start making phone calls now before 2027 silly season locks every door, or does he stay loyal, keep winning 6 races a year, and hope that's enough? You tell me, drop your answer, because the next chapter of this story is going to be written in the next 90 days.